You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah, and if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now. Or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAC Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode.
Eating a burger with no honey mustard.
Hello and welcome to the It Takes All Kinds podcast, episode 189. We're recording this on Tuesday, October 22nd. You're going to hear this on Friday, October 25th.
Holy shit.
Was that right? That's right.
That's scary close to Halloween.
And I know how scared you get around Halloween.
I hate Halloween. It scares the shit out of me.
That was meant to be the hello. Yeah.
And speaking of Halloween, a little plug here for next week. We have a big Halloween episode coming up. We're going to planning on doing a longer episode for that one. We have some special tricks up our sleeves for that. So stay tuned. That'll come out on Halloween night. So after you're done trick-or-treating, I know, I don't know if it's the same back in, Missouri. Sorry, the music is making me laugh. I don't know if it's the same for you guys back in Missouri, but you can't play the grocery music. But out here in LA, you can go trick-or-treating until you're 35.
You actually, I heard that you can just go trick-or-treating any time of the year around LA.
Anytime.
LA. I thought that's like the big thing that they do there.
That's kind of our thing, is we're known for Halloween and we're known for trick-or-treat. Trick-or-treating was invented here.
Wow. In LA.
Yeah, by the Mayans.
Wow.
So yeah, big
Did they
Halloween.
die in 2012?
Yeah, well, when the Earth stood still.
Right, the day the Earth stood still.
Everything changed. Big Halloween episode coming up next week. Stay tuned for that. You will not want to miss it. Trust me. I guess I have to give this gag away now because we won't be able to explain it next week, but we'll be able to explain it after the fact, but Gavin and I, since we're apart, are going to, we each have a costume picked out, and we're going to, we don't know each other's costume. And so when the show starts next week, our costumes will be revealed to each other. So it'll be pretty fun. And I think it could be quite a shock.
Yeah.
For both of us.
I'm still trying to think about, I have a couple ideas that I can execute pretty quickly, but I'm behind obviously, but I usually am with Halloween.
Yeah, dude, you're never on top of it with Halloween, and that's.
I was only on top of it last year because someone suggested I be Mr. Peanut Butter from BoJack Horseman.
Well, and then we did. You did.
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell on the show, and then I was the Pig Nixon boy.
That's right.
Still have that pig onesie, debating just wearing it around town one day, just busting that out. Big baby.
I hate onesies. I'm not gonna lie. I big hater so onesies.
Yeah, but it's okay if I have my binky in my mouth whenever I do it. My adult size binky. It's got a big old nipple on it.
Nope, don't like that.
It's like the size of a like a
breast.
Like like when you squeeze a horn, the bulb on the horn. And it makes that noise too. So what are we talking about this week? You're probably wondering, and I'm also wondering that too. Big breaking story.
Carson, what do we got in the docket today?
Maybe there might be a bit of a delay. I think there was last week, and I just didn't say anything about it. So if there is this week, we're going to stop it because it kind of got on my nerves. If I can just air that out real quick. This week, one of my favorite stories. I was hoping you were going to interrupt me again. One of my favorite stories of this year, I think it has to be, is Donald Trump working at McDonald's to own the libs. And yes, that is true. You did hear that right. I'm sure everybody saw it at this point. Big breaking news. Really excited to talk about it. My favorite story. Just in time for the election, 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, I was driving home from Taco
Crazy.
Bell today, and I realized that. I was like, we're we're in the dark times right here.
Yeah, we're in uncertain times.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of Taco Bell, polling places will now be open at Taco Bell. You can get a burrito and get your vote on. They're giving out free burritos if you vote.
But you can't do it in certain states because it's illegal to give people food or drink
Is it really?
in line.
Oh, right. Yeah, because that was a
it's
Republican
like Georgia
thing.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No water. Can't give water to voters.
No.
I've never had to wait in line to vote.
Yeah,
I've heard
we don't
of
live
it.
we don't live in a city.
Like I know when my parents were both working and they would get off and then they would go together, they would have to wait in line, but not that long. But you're right. It's because we didn't live in a big city.
Yeah, if we lived like downtown, probably.
Yeah.
Or like like in the city.
Mm-hmm.
If I voted in St. Louis City, I think it would probably have a different vibe there.
I'll have to see if I can apply for early voting next year once I'm registered here, because I will have no patience. I'll wait and I'll suck it up if I have to, but I'd prefer not to. But yeah, so just in time for the election, Trump did that to own the libs, and we'll see how it changes votes. I think it could be the big swing in his direction, if I'm being honest. And then we have a Nextdoor Drama we're gonna do this week. That's a good, just fun old thing about some confused neighbors, as we love. But all that aside, Gavin, how are you doing? How was your week? How was your weekend?
It was a very busy end of my week. On Thursday, I attended a scholarship awards banquet and got a scholarship.
Oh shit! I didn't know this. This is just news to me.
Yeah, I got $1,000 scholarship, so I appreciate that. I actually, believe it or not, sat next to the guy.
Sorry, you sat next to the guy?
I sat next to the guy, and it does. It pays off for at least something. I would imagine, especially like the thing I realized is that with scholarships is that they usually are pretty big sums initially, where it's like they're $20,000, but then they'll only release $1,000 a year to a student so that it lasts 20 years.
Oh, I see.
So
I didn't know that.
It is like a big change for the person donating. That's why they have like these, awards named after these people, because it is like a pretty big sum of money. I don't know exactly. He didn't tell me, obviously. But I did sit next to him and had a great chat with him, and he said I was very deserving of it. He said,
"Oh, so he like picked you?"
No, he didn't pick me, but he was like, "I'm glad I went to someone very deserving of it." And I was like, "Yeah."
He saw you get it, and he was like, so. "Did you need it?"
Like, could we have really gotten someone else?
Did you?
But yeah, and then Friday I went to a vaccine clinic, and I did not give any vaccines. I did not administer any vaccines. But I sat at a middle school and helped direct teachers and their families to the correct place to get their vaccines.
Hey man,
COVID and flu. Yeah.
Did you?
And
is there a reason you didn't administer, or was that just you were just not? You're not. Can you administer?
I wasn't very comfortable with it. I haven't done it in 3.5 years now. I think.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere around there.
But you
I got it in. I got it in January 2021 or February 2021.
That's right.
So it's been a long time since I've done anything with it. Now, I mean, like I probably could do it, but I'm not as like. I guess I probably wouldn't be as soft as some people would probably be like, "Sure, that hurt." A lot of people would probably be like, "That hurt," and I don't. The trick is to not tell people that it's your first time doing it. Yeah. Just that's like the absolute trick with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then let's see, and then that was really like a big part of my day. I was super tired. Then I went and saw the play. So I went. That was down in like Pacific, Missouri. That was not like close either. So I drove from home to school, and then back home, then out to Pacific, which is near Washington, which is where I just was, and then back up to school, then back home. So I made like
big triangle.
Big huge triangle. Like in the last it felt like forever. And then I went to the play, saw the play there at Stokop, and they did Harvey, just guy who has schizophrenia and imagines a big white rabbit that follows him around that's able to like tell the future. And it was very good. I had a great time watching that, and it was very funny too. It was a lot of hijinks. And then afterwards went to Insomnia Cookies, got a snickerdoodle, and Jenny's with the actors and the production staff. So
nice.
They wanted me to go. I did not invite myself. I was like, all right, I'm ready. I was like about ready to head out, and then because I was like, oh, we got to go watch The Fly, which we will talk about next week. But I was like, oh, I was like, I looked up at the clock and I'm like, yeah, Carson can wait. Like, yeah,
and I did.
Yeah,
I just sat around and staring at my watch all day.
Yeah. And I was out there having fun. You know, I'm just like, it keeps cutting back and forth between me and you where I'm like, oh, I'm like at a party. And then it's you just like
pacing around my apartment.
Hands behind your back.
Hands behind my back. Penis out. But soft.
Well, and you have a t-shirt on. You're Winnie the Poohing.
I'm Winnie the Poohing. I was just going to call back to a joke I made over the weekend, but I realized it would make no sense to anybody. And it's probably not even that funny. About me I said I went to Target with no pants on.
Oh, yeah.
And my dick and balls tucked between my legs. And, they kicked me out for some reason.
Yeah, they still kicked you out for it. Yeah. I was thinking about stand-up bits I could do eventually. I'll probably do a stand-up bit one day. One day. It will probably be about going into the wrong bathroom at during my rotations. Mm-hmm. I think that would be a pretty funny stand-up bit.
Yeah, dude.
I could probably. I think the bit within the bit would be that it just keeps going on. Like it gets really weird that I just keep talking about it. I think that would be another bit I could do.
Yeah, those are always the best.
But my weekend, I also spent in the IV room, and I read a book called Seed by I think it's Ania Alborn.
Okay.
And it was slightly related to Hereditary. Hereditary was not based on it or anything like that, but it was like a curse following a family over multiple generations, and it was a fantastic book. It was fantastic. I spine tingling. I mean, legitimately, had my spine send chills down my spine multiple times while I was reading it.
Interesting. Insane. I didn't know books could do that.
That's the thing. Like I saw a TikTok a long time ago where it's like they're like, what do people who are like reading scary books do? Like if they're reading horror books, do they like close the book where they get a jump scare or something like that? Oh, yeah. No, it was literally like I was so encapsulated by this book. It was kind of crazy because it was like I didn't know I could one read on a screen like that. And then two, be so locked in such a bright environment to a screen that had horrible reflections on it. Mm. But I was like, oh, it was so good. And I started reading another book back there, and it stars a main character named Carson. So,
what is it?
It is.
Got
my Kindle here.
I thought you were.
I actually found a big long list of books I wanted to read back there too. It's called Intercepts.
Intercepts.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it's about me, I guess.
By T.J. Payne.
T.J. Payne. He did. That's the guy who did that song. Crank That.
Right.
Hot.
It's not loading, but.
In the club, T-Pain, TJ,
T-Pain.
T-Pain.
Yeah. So I read that, and it was
still haven't finished Dune.
No, I still haven't because it is not an exciting portion of the book. I'm
ready to watch the movies with you, and I'm waiting for you.
I'm 470 pages in, and I'm not even. I'm technically halfway through. That's what I mean. It's very
so fucked up.
It's crazy because this book I just finished was 240 pages.
Damn.
And it was incredible. And this book is incredible. Do not get me wrong. It is very fun to read. But you have to be so locked into all of the references to the language that Frank Herbert did. Mm-hmm. Like the Kwisatz Haderach and the...
Bless you.
Yeah, exactly. All this other shit that's just the Guild.
Quizox Haderach on that thing.
Yeah,
Right,
Liet
guys?
Kynes, just like all these names that are just like not of this world.
Yeah.
And the smell is great. I love the smell of books.
That book is my nightmare because like anytime I read anytime I read something where like I can't like Shakespeare or anything like that, where it's like using like terminology that's like not normal speech patterns or using words that aren't real words. Like I can't stay focused on it. Like I immediately am gone.
That's also why I haven't given up on this book, but this is East of Eden.
Okay.
I don't mind reading multiple books. There's some people who are like, you're fucking crazy for doing that. And it's like, okay, but whenever I have to get locked into a book.
Yeah.
The first half of this book is great, but it's gotten to a point where it's like, all right, we have a whole nother half and we have 2 new characters that get introduced halfway through the fucking book.
Ugh.
Because they're twins, and now I have to watch this person grow up now.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is like, yeah, it's a whole thing. Like,
I wish I liked reading
they're
more.
both really good books, but this is very much dense like language. This is not easy to read. It's like old time. Like Frank Herbert wrote it like it was Star Wars. I mean, it's literally like they talk in this high English.
It was
just
before
kind of
Star
like
Wars.
you have to read into. It was before Star Wars, but Star Wars took inspiration from this book pretty heavily. It takes place on a sand planet,
right?
And all the characters' names relate to the main characters are like Luke is Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're both biblical names, but
Paul Skywalker.
Anywho, Paul Skywalker. But it's just like Dune is a very interesting book, but I cannot get through it at this point in time. I wanted something really easy like that. That was very much like it, especially books written today, and they take place in this time period today. Much easier to read, 100% easier to read, and that's when that book took place. Was like today.
Yeah, I mean it's the same with a lot of
like modern era.
Yeah, I feel like even kind of movies to a degree. Like I'd say movies before the mid to late 70s are like kind of can get tough for me to watch because I'm like, oof, I got to really be like locked in and invested in this. And most of the time I'm not. And so I end up just kind of being like, let's see what else. What else is on
right,
here?
exactly.
So
I got a long list of horror books this weekend during the Ivy rooms, and quite a few Stephen King novels, but
those are long too.
I was looking at the page. Yeah, I looked at the page numbers. There's this one that takes place in like 1845, and it's called The Terror, and it's like this boat that's in the Arctic Circle that is like trapped in ice, but there's like a monster outside trying to get into the boat.
Okay,
and
cool.
It's like it's 900 pages,
Jesus Christ.
And it's like someone said it inspired them to read Moby Dick, so I imagine it's a not very like fun quote unquote read.
Well, I think even it is like either 1,000 or 2,000 pages long.
It's very long. Yes, it's very, very long.
I know it's one of the. Well, I don't know if it's one of the longer ones. It's just one of the ones I know that's long. I've never read.
I was going to read. I was going to read another Stephen King novel called Salem's Lot. I've heard good things about that.
I want to watch
I've heard
that
the
movie.
Exorcist book is very good. I've heard the Exorcist book is really good, and so I might need to take a trip over to Half Price Books tomorrow, see what they got in the horror section, because I'm totally bought into horror suspense thriller books. Totally bought in. You got me. I don't care. I don't. Sci-fi is a little bit harder for me to read. Same thing with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which you peed on.
I did. I didn't pee. I dropped it in a toilet. I didn't pee on it. Go back to the episode 3 where we talked about that. I think.
Yeah, so I have that still sitting on my shelf, but it's the entire series in one book, so it's not just.
Oof.
Yeah, so it also is just kind of a dense book.
That was whenever I realized that I can't read books like that because it was like too many words, too many weird words.
And it's also really easy for me to come out of Dune. It's very like, whereas with that book, it was like, oh, I gotta see what like the book I read over the weekend was like, oh, I gotta see what's on the next page.
Right, you were
too
excited about it.
Yeah, but like in Dune and both of those, it was like I really don't care what happens next.
Yeah, you're trying to trudge through. I've heard that about Lord of the Rings too. It's like it gets to a point where you're like, holy shit.
Yeah,
gets to be.
And I want to be able to visualize. I have a really good mind's eye whenever I read.
You have a really good mind. I've always said that
I have
about
a
you.
beautiful mind.
You have a beautiful mind, just like the movie.
Just like the movie. So Carson, what'd you do this weekend? Other than play Balloons Tower Defense 3 times, basically.
What? 3 times yesterday?
No, basically. Excuse me. Basically.
Well,
because you had to restart it.
Yeah, so we've gotten into Balloons Tower Defense, which is a great game. I used to play it all the time on the computer in school because it was like the only like fun flash game you could play that wouldn't be blocked. So I would I probably did that like from starting in elementary school and through high school, like would just play it. Yeah, it's so much fun and so time consuming.
Yeah, and it's such like it's great seeing the upgrades come up and your level up. Like it's such like a so sick. I love that type of shit.
You don't have to use real money to get any upgrades. You just get it's like gambling. Kind of. I don't know.
Actually, one more thing about this weekend. Okay. I started this game that is kind of like gambling, but it's not with real money. Uh-oh. It's called
DraftKings.
No, it's called it starts with a B.
Bolero.
Fuck. I've been addicted to it. I can't stop playing it. It's called
I think I know what you're talking about.
Balatro.
That's what I meant to. I'm not joking. That is what I meant to say.
That's the game I've been playing for like the last like 24 hours. It's like a card. Yeah, it's like a card game. It's like poker, and then you get these jokers that you get poker
with these jokers.
And then you buy jokers to like increase your chips per hand, and you're trying to beat a certain score.
Okay.
I'll have to stream it for you. It's incredible. It's literally it's awesome. It's so sick. I was like, luckily I have an Apple Arcade, so I didn't have to pay $10 for the app. But it is a very fun game, and
can we play together?
No, but you could influence. You can help me pick which jokers to do.
Okay.
Because a lot of them don't really do anything or help, but like it's just one of those like, sure, I'll go with this card.
I'd rather do that anyways, because my thing with gaming is like I like doing it occasionally, but even with Balloons Tower Defense. So what happened for those of you who are just clamoring to find out my Balloons Tower Defense story from this weekend? So very funny to say this out loud, unless you already know it. But Netflix has games. And I didn't know what that meant. I just kept seeing it advertised to me that they had Balloons Tower Defense on Netflix. And I was like, does that mean I can play it on my TV? What does this mean?
What does this look like? And
so you guys had started playing that, and I was like, oh, I think I can get it through Netflix. And I was like, let me figure this out. So literally all it is you like open it through Netflix, and then it opens up the App Store, and then there's a Netflix Balloons Tower Defense 6. It's the same game.
It's like,
but it's through
like
Netflix.
Balloons Tower Defense 6 Netflix, all caps.
And it has it on the icon and everything. So I downloaded that. You sign in with your Netflix account, and then you get the game for free. Otherwise, you pay $7 for it on the App Store. So I was like, this is great. So I leveled up all the way to 20, because then I get to play with the guys, because they all have it, and you have to get to level 20 to do
to play online.
So I finally get there. We're like, after hours of waiting, making the guys wait, I was like, okay, I'm ready. Let's do it. What's the code? I enter the code, and they gave me some error. And so long story short, I found out that for whatever fucking reason, the Netflix version can't play online with people with the normal version, even though it's the exact same game.
It's the exact same game, same upgrades, same events, everything.
Same thing. It looks the same. It just has the Netflix logo when you open it up. Like literally, it does the Netflix boom and shows the logo, and then the Balloons Tower stuff comes up.
Oh my God, I didn't realize it did it like that.
Yeah, it's so annoying, but it's the same game. But for whatever reason, like I read it for like the past year, because it's been available for the past year apparently. People are like, no, you can't. So anyways, so I said fuck it, and I bought the game. And then that night after you guys got off, I was like, I'm just gonna get up to level 20 tonight. And I opened the game and I started, and then I was like, man, I don't want to do this again, and I shut it off. But I finally did it 2 nights ago. I finally did do it, and I enjoyed it.
Okay.
But that's my problem with games is I was a gamer through I guess middle school. High school-ish is when I stopped playing video games because I just like, it was literally like I would play.
It was below him.
It was below me. It blew me. I played Minecraft and TF2 were like my two games. I like played Counter-Strike and DayZ and
some Fortnite.
Roblox and some Fortnite. But for whatever reason, those never stuck with me. And like, I don't know. I just find like such a like, I don't know. I just get so bored. It's just very boring to me. And I just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't need to go into it. But yeah, but I like watching, for whatever reason, I like being the gamer cuck and watching you guys play the games and telling you what to do, even though you don't listen to me, which is part of the fun of it.
Well, with the Balatro, I would let you influence it because it is plays such a heavy weight.
Yeah.
To get the wrong cards.
So then you can yell at me if I get it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
I can blame you for my shit run.
For your shit. But I would love to play balloons with you guys because I think that would be fun. But yeah, I don't know. Not a gamer. Never been. Never will be.
Not much of a gamer.
You know, Kamala, she likes to play video games. I think it's just a waste of time. It's just a bit below me. I'd rather be working the fry machine at McDonald's. I did that to stall so I could tell you what I've been up to, Gavin, this past weekend. So big shout out. I know all the Dodgers are listening right now. Mookie, Ohtani,
Shohei,
Freddie's listening.
Chris Taylor, Tommy Edman, shout out one time
from the Cardinals.
Won the NLCS MVP.
He did, which I was like, huh? But then I realized that he's had a hit like every up to bat pretty
like 400.
Much. It was crazy.
Insane.
So I've been like keeping up with what's going on just because it's like I'm here in LA. I've been keeping up with you ever seen that show? I've been keeping up with it because it's like, you know, I'm
you're in LA now.
Yeah, it's like I'm a Cardinals fan and a Blues fan and a Chiefs fan just from, you know, at heart from Missouri. But obviously the Cardinals have been out for a while now, so it's like, well, I'm here in LA. I got to start, you know, adapting these teams into my life because, you know, I would like, you know, I am planning on staying out here for a long time, maybe forever. So
yeah.
Let's start bringing them in. And also it's like fun to have a team that actually wins.
Yeah.
So I like started adapting or, you know, taking on the Dodgers and not really watching the games because I don't want to pay $80 a month to watch them, which is insane. And I wouldn't even, I'm not like a person who's like, I got to sit down for every single game. So it'd be like maybe a half a game a month that I would probably end up watching.
The way you make friends, Carson, is by going out to bars and watching the games.
Yeah, I've thought about it.
I'm playing. I was actually thinking the same thing with like NBA, the NBA teams and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it because I was like, if they go to the World Series, like I got to figure out a way to watch it. And I'm like, I guess I could go out. There's like a Mexican restaurant down the street, or like I guess it's like a mile away, and they like advertise outside. We play every Dodgers game. So I was like, could go
that might be the place to go.
It might be. So I've been like keeping up with what's going on a little bit, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be an old man and listen to the game on the radio in my car. And so
I've done that before.
Yeah, I was like, whatever, why not? And I went and played disc golf on Sunday. That was when the last game was here in LA, and it was like kind of south of LA. So on the way back, I like thought I timed it perfectly where like I left before the game started and then I came back home as the game was going on, but that didn't work out. I ended up getting fucked in traffic, but I got to listen to pretty much most of the game on my drive home and like was pretty much driving by Dodger Stadium when Tommy Edman hit the 2-run. And then when, what's his name? Hit another 2-run homer. Right
TK
after
Hernandez?
No, it was a guy whose name I didn't recognize. I can't remember what his name was.
Pages?
No, it was I can't even
Will
remember.
Smith.
Yeah, it was Will Smith. Because I was like, Will Smith. Where's Chris Rock? Watch out. He's got a bat.
He's got a bat now.
He's got a bat now, and he's fucking terrifying. But yeah, so that was just, it was cool, and it was awesome to I have my radio alarm clock that I've had since I was like 7 that I still use.
Good Lord.
And so I came home and I put the game on there and then got to hear the ending of it. And I was like, that's pretty cool. That like
it's kind of the best way to like listen to, in all honesty. I think that's like, these are people who have been doing it since like the golden days.
And they sound like
they sound like it too.
And it's AM radio, so it's like coming through real shitty.
Really shit, yeah.
And so it like I literally was like, I feel like I'm listening to like a game in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like it just sound like the announcers, the way they sound. Like if you didn't hear any of the music or anything going on in the background, you could convince yourself that you just time traveled. But it's cool to be here when a team is going to the World Series. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool because we haven't had that in St. Louis since 2016.
2011.
2013.
2013 was the last
time we went, and then 2011 is when we won. And so it's just cool to be here, and so I think I'm gonna maybe get a free trial of like Yabu. What is it? What's the one that plays the? It's not
Fubu.
Fubu, yeah. Or Fubi?
Fubo? Fubo? I think it's Fubo.
Because it's like Tubi, Fubo, Pluto.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing? We're
Quibi.
Baby talk. Yeah, Quibi. It's streaming on Quibi, and you got to pay $80 a month. But they have a free trial, and so I think I'm going to start that, and then I can watch the games. And then I'll probably time it wrong, so I won't be able to watch like the last game. And then I'll have to go out for it. But yeah, it's just cool. It's fun that's all going on and kind of getting into it with that. And then last night, sorry to wrap this up, I drove all the way to Ventura, California, which is
Ventura Highway,
pretty much straight west of Burbank, where I am, and it's like an hour away to go to see one of my favorite bands of all time, Under Oath, play live. This is my second time seeing them, and Static Dress opened for them. I don't know if I would say one of my favorite bands, but one of my favorite bands right now, because they're a newer band, and they're like pretty much like, I don't mean this in like a negative way. It's going to sound negative, but they are like they like started out as like an Under Oath ripoff, like now, like a few years ago. And that's how I got introduced to them, as someone was like, yeah, if you like Under Oath, you'll really like this band. And I was like, oh, check them out. And I was like, they sound exactly like Under Oath. And then they've evolved since then, but they're huge Under Oath fans. So it was like a big deal that they got to go on tour with them. And Under Oath is touring their, I guess that'd be their, maybe just their second studio album, technically. But it's a 20-year anniversary of They're Only Chasing Safety, which came out in 2004. I obviously did not listen to it when it came out. I don't know if my brother Logan did or not, but Logan is the reason that I heard this album, because like all of our music was like on the same iTunes thing.
Yeah.
And so I would just like find whatever, and I would just check out whatever was on there. And then like, so I don't even know when I first heard these songs, but like Under Oath is the reason I got into heavy music and yada, yada, yada. I've probably explained all this before. But that album has always been, one of my favorite albums of all time. And I heard them play most of the songs whenever I saw them the first time in St. Louis a few years ago. But this was them playing the whole album front to back.
That's sick. Which
is super cool and a really fun way to hear it. And so they did that. And then they even did an encore set of like 5 other songs and they did another thing that they did was really cool, is they would do an encore set. Like I said, I think of 5 songs every night, and every person who bought a ticket for that show would get to submit songs they would want to hear on the encore set, and whichever songs got the most votes is what they would play, which is super cool.
Yeah, that's sick.
I was checking their set list, and it seems like the same song. So I don't know if that's just like if that's literally just the way it went, which it could be, because the songs they play are like, I wasn't surprised that they played. So I think they like had like a group of songs that they're like, we'll play these ones. We're not going to play anything else. Cause like they have a pretty big discography and a lot of songs like where some of the members weren't even in the band. So that was really cool. They played a few songs that I'd heard the first time I saw them. they played like a really deep cut song off of They're Only Chasing Safety, which was like a bonus song on like a re-release of the album. And that was really cool. That's one of my favorites. And then they played a song from before their lead singer was in the band that came out in 2002, which is like, the singer Spencer said that they hadn't played that song, at least in Ventura, he said specifically, since like Warped Tour 2004. So like they haven't played that song in like 20 years, like at least here. They've played it. I've noticed they played it a couple times. But it was like, again, like a song that I heard forever ago. And it was like, it's a bad song, but I love it. Like I love it because it is so bad. And they were like probably 16 or 18 whenever they wrote it and stuff. But
right.
So it was just great. It was really fun. I the first time I saw them was special to me because it was like the first time I ever saw them after like 15 years or like 10 years of being a fan. So, but it was cool. It was great. It was good to see Static Dress and see a full set because the first time I saw them, I was late. Shocking, I know. So I was happy to see them, and God, they're just such. I love when an opening band can get the crowd into it, even if the crowd doesn't know who they are. And by God, they could, and it was really fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's it. I wanted to just gush about that for a second. And 40 minutes in, let's actually get into our topics now, huh? How about that?
We can quick fire these. They're not too
Oh no, we got time. It's fine. I really want to take my time with this McDonald's as I spelled it here. So Gavin, you pull this clip up. Let's just start with this. So, well, I'll give a very brief backstory to this, and then we'll read into it a little bit more. But Donald Trump works at McDonald's now. It's his new thing. He gave out the presidency. No. So Donald Trump, his campaign talked to McDonald's in Pennsylvania, and they allowed him to come in. It wasn't even, I really wonder if this franchisee or this owner is going to get in big trouble because like this wasn't a McDonald's backed thing. It was like, their franchisee or owner was like, we're going to let him do this. So like, it wasn't like McDonald's condoned or anything like that. And I'm surprised I haven't heard anything about like McDonald's releasing a statement being like, we don't support, political parties or anything like that. This is all, we're dealing with this, on our own, yada, yada. So
we're handling this matter internally.
Yeah. So he wanted to specifically work the fry counter for some reason. But this all stems back to Kamala Harris saying that in the 80s, I believe it was, she worked at a McDonald's here in California during when she was attending college, and whatever groypers looked into it and couldn't find any proof that she worked at this McDonald's
because she didn't put it on her resume because it's not relevant.
Is that the reason why? I didn't know if that was
like
the reason
that's like
why.
The reason. Yeah. Okay. Is that like sometimes some places want you to have like a really, really long, resume, but most places will want like a page.
Yeah. And
am I going to put something I did whenever I was fucking 16 on there that I worked at McDonald's?
Right. So if that's the reason why, then that's even more funny because like apparently I think NBC even says in here that they were able to find proof that she did. And obviously it's like, why would you make that up? But Trump,
why do you care?
Yeah. Why do you care? But Trump took that and, called her a liar, that there wasn't any proof of it, and said that she was just making it up to support her more. What did he say? It like how she's really small business forward or working class forward. And he was like, you didn't even work at McDonald's, you liar. And so to own her and the libs, he decided to do what she apparently couldn't and worked at McDonald's. So let's roll this clip, Gavin. This is pretty great. It's a little long, but I want to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I will share my comments at the end.
I'm going to eat the whole thing.
Yeah,
let's watch it through. Let's give it its time. Yeah, you can full screen.
Full screen. Okay.
This is fun. I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. First day at McDonald's. I'm looking for a job, and I've always wanted to work at McDonald's, but I never did. I'm running against somebody that said she did, but it turned out to be a totally phony story. So if you don't mind, I want to work the French fry counter.
Absolutely.
Okay, how much you paying me?
How much are you paying?
It's like a Make-A-Wish kid.
Yeah. That's what people were saying.
Slowly into the wood, I don't want to burn. So you think whatever's going to hit our
God, it's so weird.
It's great, isn't it?
Very good.
Grab one while it's really hot. Susie can touch that sucker. I don't think
Fuck. He's too good.
Never even
Fuck, I
touched
hate
it,
this
huh?
so much, man.
Wow, that's pretty good. Thank
All
you.
right.
Appreciate all
Take your
that.
good order right here.
Thank you. And there'll be no charge. Trump is paying for it. Is that okay?
2024.
Oh, you go to some extra stuff.
Oh, okay, great.
This is all on Trump.
Oh,
Hello, how are you? You're a good-looking guy. I love you. Give me
You're a good-looking guy.
Thank you very much. I will. I promise. Thank you very much. Perfect-looking person. That's good. Thank you. It's compliments. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Mom over there.
God, fuck.
You doing, sir? Fantastic.
Hi, Mom.
How are you? Your new baby. How are you? Doing great. How are you? So this is compliments of you, okay? All right. I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. I like this job. I think I might come back and do it again.
Thank you.
Look at that. Look at that. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Nice to see you. How you doing?
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet.
You're not
I
ordinary.
mean, thank you
You
so much.
are not ordinary. I can see.
We pray for you, and you are the type of person we
You
want.
are not ordinary.
Thank you so much.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said, "You are not ordinary. You are not
Holy
ordinary."
shit.
He said it twice. Hi, Mom.
Wow, that is. God, let me just. My comments here are that
Please,
I'm
please,
so
please.
mad it has worked so well. Like he's just so he's just like
So
whenever
perfect.
he's just like
Oh.
genuine, like when he's being genuinely himself, not doing his politics.
Yeah,
It's entertaining. He's
Say
very
it.
good at being entertaining.
I'll say it, Gavin. He's downright a sweetheart.
Yeah,
He's like a
I
sweet-
mean,
he's
this
a
guy
sweet
like
grandpa. When he's just
Yeah.
like, he puts the barrier down. Now he wasn't that the whole time. He was doing some putting on stuff, but yeah, when he's genuine and he doesn't, have to take control or doesn't have anything to prove, and just like acts like a human
shit.
being.
right.
He's
Who cares about other people?
Yeah, he comes off as like very normal and very, what's the word? Affable? Is that a word I can use there?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I even said this. We didn't, and we never talked about this on the show. But you were there. Whenever we watched him play with, I think it was Bryson DeChambeau, the golfer.
Yeah. I was there. Yeah.
And I was like, in the middle of it, I was just like, wait, why is this like kind of sweet? Why am I
It's
like,
just his old dude.
yeah, like I started like genuinely like chuckling along to it, and I was like, why am I doing? What is happening? Why am I like? I'm like, it's because he's being normal. He's like, not you forget about the disgusting stuff he's done.
That's all he should have been doing.
And that's I genuinely like think that that is in there, and it's like a psychological thing. And like I mean, this isn't like a take that nobody has ever said before, but since the beginning, he just like, it's all fake. All of this is fake. He doesn't believe anything he believes in. He's supported Kamala in the past financially on her campaign. He's probably had abortions or has had abortions. I don't know if that's
Or
been
paid for
proven.
them.
Paid for them. Yeah, he didn't have them himself, even though it looks like he could have. Like he's done all these other things and then like weaseled his way into politics and just did whatever got him to the top the fastest. Like there's no moral ground for him to stand on. It's all fake. So when you see this person, that's him. When he's playing golf with Bryson DeChambeau, he's being
fun.
Having because that's what he
having
likes
fun.
doing.
He's enjoying himself.
Yeah. But he's a what's the word I'm looking for? A
People
liar.
pleaser.
Well, he's a liar. He's a what's the word I'm looking for when you lie all the time? Like that's your whole thing. I can't think of what it is. it's like a something liar. He's just like, that's his whole
compulsive liar.
Yeah, like it's just like his life is a big lie, and that's what he's known to do. That's what got him to the top. And yeah, so it's yeah. Watching that, I was like, shit. I was like, I voted early.
I literally said out loud, I was like, fuck, I hate how good he is at this.
Right. And
I was like, God damn it, dude.
You know what, Gavin, I'll just say it. We talked about it last week. I voted early, and God damn it, if this video would have come out sooner, it might have changed my mind.
Yeah, I agree. Me too, man. And
Hashtag
that's the
me
thing
too.
is, all the people that support him are also so good too that it makes me like wish that they were wish that he was running wish that they were running with him. They're so good. They're such good people.
They're such good people. No, obviously that is of course a joke that we can see right through it. But you brought this up before we started. The fence sitters, the undecided voters who might just happen to see this will go, oh, I think I might vote for this guy. We've said it before. It's no secret. A lot of people are very dumb. And that's okay.
There's like a whole world out there that I'm not aware of.
Yep.
That,
we live in a bubble.
There's a whole world out there that is, someone said it about in reference to an SNL sketch that they were like, because the wedding sketch with Ariana Grande last week or 2 weeks ago was supposed to be like, it was like the highest viewed TikTok of the week. It had like 86 million views or something like that. And it was like, everybody in the comments was like, that really wasn't that funny of a skit, but knowing that there's 86 million people that watch this and showed it to other people shows that there is an entirely different world that like the general, like the people that are online, quote unquote, don't know about. So someone was like, I'm just going to go buy a pair of New Balances tomorrow, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think that's even something that like I didn't think too much about at the time, but whenever we had Tim on the show, he was really talking about that. And I don't think I quite like understood what he was saying until I thought about it later. And maybe I did in the moment, I can't remember, but I just remember thinking whenever you brought that up, I was thinking about that. And it's like, it's the same thing what you said, where it's just like, there's things that are out there that it's like I find so many weird things hilarious and funny. And then like you said, you see that and you're like, oh shit, like, there's way more people who find like this other thing funny or this other thing enjoyable that it's like,
right.
What the fuck is that? Like, I don't even, it's crazy. It like there's so many, I was thinking about this too, that there's so many, like, I call them like micro influencers, even though like some of them have like millions of followers.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll just like pop up or someone will be talking about them and I'll look them up and I'm like, I've never seen this person in my entire life.
Yeah, that happened.
And they have millions of followers or like, and it's like.
Or a lot of people I know follow them and I'm like, how did you guys hear about this person too? I was like, what the fuck?
It like blows my mind how many people like that there are out there. Like,
absolutely.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's very weird, and yeah, you're totally right. We live in a bubble where like those 86 million people could see this and be swayed to vote for Trump.
I doubt it, but like
I doubt it, but I don't doubt it at the same time.
There's like, people that are probably like, oh, he did that, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, I was just
like literally just based off of that.
Yeah, like it's so funny. Like I've saw the left and right side of Twitter on this. The left side was like, holy shit, this is so fucking funny. And then the right side was like, this is so amazing. And look how great he is. And look how like charming he is. They used a lot. Like he's so charming and witty. And like they were laughing along with him, whereas the left was laughing at him.
Right.
And it's like, whichever side you get on is the side you're going to get,
Well, as someone who did serve people at the drive-thru for a year, I can say that I did enjoy that job quite a lot. I did it. Not gonna lie, that was like a very enjoyable experience. I just wish I got paid more for it.
And this is why you're voting for Trump.
That's right. I'm voting for Trump.
Put your votes in now, guys. Put it on the Wikipedia.
I'm gonna actually go vote twice. I think I'm gonna go vote once for Kamala, once for Donald Trump.
Well, just vote for me since I already did mail in. I can
do that. Yep.
Yeah, I'll mail you my ID.
No, yeah, please.
And go take it up there and see if see if it works. Who knows? I don't know.
I'm voting for my friend tonight.
Yeah, hey, my friend's not going to be in town. You mind if I vote for him? He sent me his answers. I can show them to you.
Yeah,
it's
I can show you what.
A shitty notepad picture.
Yeah.
Of me just like circling in things.
It's like a quiz, and it's got like the pictures of all the candidates, and then you put an X over the ones that you wanted to vote for.
It's a Quizlet.
Yeah, see, look right here.
It's a Quizlet.
yeah. No, I got flashcards right here. I'm flashing through them. Donald Trump, no. Kamala Harris, yeah.
Yeah. You should say next time.
Amendment 3.
Next time I vote in person, I'm gonna like read everything out loud and say what I'm voting on.
That was someone that did do that at the flu clinic, where they wrote everything out and they were saying it as they were and like filling it out. They're like,
really?
Have I ever had an egg allergy? No.
What do they think they're in a sitcom?
I don't know, but she was she could have taken it to a different table, but she was doing it right in front of me, and I'm like, if you want to entertain me for 5 minutes, that's great.
Yeah, I would get a laugh out of it. The other thing I have to point out about what he said, because I've watched this clip multiple times now and really broken it down. Play by play. I love that he said, "This is compliments of me. This is on Trump." He like, you could see him like figuring it out in real time, that he was like, "Wait, what am I supposed to tell these people?" And he was like, I guess this, no, you don't have to pay for this. This is on Trump. This is all on Trump.
One of the guys was like, I already paid for it. It was $20.
Did they say that?
Yeah. The guy, one of the first guys was like, I already paid for it, because you usually pay down the first window. They hand it to you here.
Oh, maybe that's when he realized, this is on Trump. This is all on Trump.
Yeah.
Which is very funny, because it's like, and then he's like, this is courtesy of me. It's like, what about all those people back there that were doing did all this stuff for you?
For someone who is as vitriolic as someone like him, where they're full of hate and they're so concentrated in the political sphere, and to see this and see how he presents himself on podcasts, like I think it was with Aiden Ross, and those kinds of things. You know what I mean? Like he goes on these with the Nelk Boys, I think was one of them.
Yep.
He even said he would hire the Nelk Boys or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but there was a clip that someone was like, but it's those kinds of clips that I feel like do the most damage. Not for him, but most damage against the left, so to speak, is that they always play it off as like, oh, he's not that bad of a guy. You know, that's the thing that I was like, I hate that he's so good at this, because it's just going to come off as this, as that he's so good. He's so good at it.
Right.
And it's just like, and he's just such a nice person.
Right.
There's nothing bad that could ever happen if we ever voted Donald Trump into presidency.
Yeah. It makes you forget about everything.
Right. And I hate it. I hate it so much, because there's so many people that would be so easily fooled by this, like by that facade.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. That's all about playing politics, Yeah. I was listening to something today talking about like how, Kamala and Trump have both like gone on, like, they've learned that Gen Z and even millennials aren't watching traditional media. So why waste your time on Fox and Friends all the time? You got to start doing Joe Rogan. You got to start doing Patrick Bet-David for whatever fucking reason. Apparently, I guess
he do that?
He did do PBD. He did.
No fucking way. I don't know why. I did not know that.
Yeah, didn't know enough people watch that show for there to be a need, but maybe he's friends with PBD too. They might go back. So
there was like even like Complex has a podcast, and they had Joe Biden on before he dropped out. Like,
but then Kamala went on Stern. She went on, I think, Call Her Daddy, right? So like they're both doing, they've both learned to do those, outlets and not, stay away from still doing traditional media, because there is a large sum of older voters, our parents' age, that don't necessarily watch or only watch traditional media. So you got to hit both angles from it. But it's been interesting to see that. I feel like I'm sure that was implemented in the last 2 elections prior to this, but I feel like this one has really hit hard on it. Like
pretty hard. Yeah, it is. Like they do probably noticed that the Gen Z numbers aren't pulling well.
Yeah, and that's a really important. It's
Very
a really
big vote.
Yeah,
it's
a
an
really,
always growing vote.
And it's one where it's like they know we even know people personally. I won't obviously name names who just won't put in the time to go out and vote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't want to leave their house. They don't want to try and figure it out. Like it's, and that's like we're even millennial, like Gen Z and millennials are very lazy and won't do that because they just don't want to, which is like, I guess I can understand it, but it's like to a degree, I can understand it in a way, but it's like,
but the other point is that like you're going to deal with these consequences longer.
Yeah. So so that's what they're trying to do. But yeah, I mean, I was going to read more into this, but there's not much. So there's a clip we were trying to find, and I'm sure I forgot that I needed to find this clip. I could have done it last night, but there's a point in this where he, from my understanding, I haven't seen the clip, is someone's like filling the bag with French fries that he didn't fill up himself. And he goes, "Oh, you're being." I think actually I can get it verbatim from. For some reason, NBC included it in the text, but not in the clip, which is like that's the most interesting part. Why would you not include that? Let's see if I can find it here real quick.
One of my favorites was that the assumption that people were picking up these fries with their bare hands and putting them into the like that was one of my like. God damn it, dude! I hate that he said that. It's so like. It's so funny, and I was like, I just don't want to laugh at it, but it is very funny that he assumed that people were grabbing these hot ass fries with their bare hands,
touch that sucker
and
with
then
your
putting
hand.
them. Yeah, because he says, quote, never touched by a human hand. He said at one point, nice and clean.
Yeah, it's like, why would you think that they'd be pulling them out of the fryer? And they even mentioned in this article that like they really dug into it, and they were like. Apparently he not got reprimanded, but I'll say reprimanded for not shaking the excess oil out the first time before putting it into the tray, the heater where they put the salt on it.
Yeah.
But so he said to someone, "Oh, you're very stingy with the product." He said to an employee filling the bag with fries. Look at that. She's a good worker.
She's a good worker.
That's the kind of people you want to have. She gave them one French fry for 30 reporters. So he called someone stingy for giving them, what they're told to give, I'm sure. I just thought that was really funny. But
toward the end of his appearance, Trump was informed it was Harris's 60th birthday.
Yeah.
Fuck,
I think I'll get her some flowers, he said. Maybe I'll get her some fries.
I fucking hate it, dude. I hate it. He's so good at it.
I want to see the clip where they told him that, because I'm sure he was like, "Oh, is it? I had no idea. Is it really your birthday?
Wow. I'll get her some flowers, maybe even some fries.
Maybe I'll send her $2,000 for her campaign." It's great.
Oh God, it's just.
But I think, Gavin, breaking news today, and I think it has to do with this. If I'm being completely honest,
yeah, you're right.
There's got to be a connection. There's got to be a connection. The failing CDC put out an E. coli outbreak linked to McDonald's quarter pounders.
To possible and possibilities.
I mean, there's got to be a connection there. This is a fast-moving outbreak investigation from the CDC. Most sick people are reporting eating... I don't know Obama. The wording of this is kind of funny. Most sick people are reporting eating quarter-pounder hamburgers from McDonald's, and investigators are working quickly to confirm which food ingredient is contaminated. McDonald's has pulled ingredients for these burgers, and they won't be available for sale in some states.
Whoa. They're like going in, they're like, all right, who put these burgers on the grill like this?
We're going to have to check everything. We're going
to dissect this patty and figure out the ingredient you added that makes people get E. coli from it.
Dissect the damn patty. And I was like, at first I was like, aren't all the burgers the same? And then I was like, oh, right, quarter pounder. It's a bigger patty. So more than likely it's the patty. Do you like quarter pounders? Do you order a quarter pounder?
I'm a quarter pounder daddy.
Something about it I don't like.
I will say I do have a tendency to overindulge sometimes where I'll be in the middle of eating something and then I gag horribly and I won't eat anymore. I don't know if anyone around me has also experienced this, but I'll get put into this mindset where I'm like, oh God, I can't finish that. And that happens most often with a double quarter pounder. I'll be like, oh fuck, that's so much meat. And I'll just go, then I'm like, I can't do this.
Do you think, and this is just me, this is just a question.
Put on position hat. Yeah.
I'm just asking, do you think that's because you don't pay attention when you eat? Because you go on your phone a lot when you eat, which is fine, whatever, no judgments here. But do you think it's because you're not paying attention, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh shit"?
No, it's not that. No, okay. It's definitely not that. It's very much just like I'm thinking too much about the food.
Okay.
Where it's like where I start like kind of like like scrutinizing every little detail about it. Where it's like where I'm like looking at it and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of meat. And I'm like, wow, that is a lot of meat. And I'm like, oh God. Or I'm like, oh God, I don't like this taste anymore.
So this kind of harkens back to our Taco Bell Big Cheez-It discussion where you would go,
exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's like I will never eat that. There's just something about it that is utterly repulsive. But on the quarter pounder note, I do enjoy the single quarter pounder much better. It's much easier and very palpable for me. It's very quick to eat. It's one hand. It's got thicker cut onions on it, and it's a thicker cut burger. It's an overall just like quote unquote like more like streamlined or better burger than like a double cheeseburger or like a hamburger, or, you know.
That's why I don't like it. Is because I don't like thick burgers. I'm a smash burger boy.
It feels like
patty.
It's definitely like just it feels more like a typical hamburger.
Typical hamburger. Yeah. But I've had it in the onions too. It's too much onions for me. I'm an onion guy. I am a cooked. I like onion cooked into things.
Sauteed.
I don't care for it on its own. I don't understand. I've eaten onion on its own and it's yucky.
Not that good.
Not that good.
I do have one clip here to show about this.
Yeah, I was just gonna wrap up this contamination thing. It's only been reported so far in Colorado and Nebraska. So what was that thing that you said in Nebraska people were eating?
The Runza.
The Runza, yeah. Well, when you eat a quarter pounder and you have E. coli, you might get the Runza.
Hey, look at that.
Going into the toilet. There has been one death reported, by the way.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Kind of crazy. Anyways, let's watch this clip. I'm sorry.
We don't even have to comment on this, but this is just a clip I wanted to share with the audience.
My issue was more the energy. I've been paying $2,100 since I first opened up. In the last 7 months, it shot up to $15,000.
What?
What?
I want to know what happened after, because was he saying what, like what? That's crazy, or was he saying what because he?
No, I don't know. I don't know. They cut the clip.
We don't have to find what? It's pretty good.
What?
Send that to me so I can.
I like that there's a guy actually getting a haircut right here.
Yeah, you can hear the razors.
You can hear the clippers.
Looks like that one barbershop I went to where I got my shit absolutely fucked up.
Well, that happens from time to time.
It obviously isn't. I'm just saying. It could have fooled me. What?
Bye.
Anyways, enough with Trump. Let's move on. Hey, this is real quick. I just wanted to point this out. It's honestly like, it's pretty dumb, which is also why
Holy shit.
I pulled it from a stupid website. So this comes from This comes from balleralert.com. My new favorite news website.
Way. Holy shit.
Yeah, so this is like
a site.
I know, right? It's honestly like the other funny thing too is like the major news sites did way better reporting on it. Like honestly, the reporting on this one sucked. I just couldn't not. I had to do it. It was like on page 2 of Google search, and I was like, Baller Alert, got it. That's the one.
They also feature the band Under Oath.
What?
Look at the headline, man.
Oh yeah, they do. They feature under oath. It says it right there. Russian funding and testimony under oath. That's weird that they talked about the band. The band has nothing to do with this headline. I'm just realizing. People have probably heard about this by now. And again, it's more of an accusation. There hasn't really been any proof of it. But so Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau accuses Tucker Carlson and Jordan Peterson, Jorpa, of Russian funding and testimony under oath. They're Only Chasing Safety 20th anniversary tour going on right now. And that's really it. There was he went under oath. He played with under oath. He was under oath in a public inquiry into foreign interference as far as elections go. Kind of similar things to what we have done. And I would play the clip of it, but he's speaking in this crazy language they call French. So I can't understand a goddamn thing he's saying. And I wouldn't even be bothered to try and figure it out. But
wait, hold on. I have to hear it.
You're listening to it by yourself. I can't hear it.
Yeah, I know.
You just want to hear it for
great.
yourself.
Yeah, I just want to hear it. That's crazy. He sounds like he's making fun of French.
I also didn't know he spoke French either, which is stupid because I'm assuming most Canada prime ministers do.
Like, just listen to this. It sounds like the fucking Swedish Chef, man.
Oui, on a vu que des messages de...
The massage.
Like, what?
The massage.
What the hell?
What the hell? We're just making fun of French people now.
What's the hell?
But so he was under oath at this. I can't stop thinking of the band, you son of a bitch. You should have mentioned it.
Sorry.
He was under oath when this happened. And so meaning what he said has to be truth. Otherwise he could, get fucked. And it sounds like, to my understanding, what he said, I think was a little too relaxed when he said this, unless he has proof, but it's just crazy to if this is true, he is the one to break the news about this.
Right.
I think it might've just been a word mix up. I don't think there's been any sort of backtracking on it.
That's the other thing, was that I saw a lot of people on left-wing Twitter that were freaking out. They're like, Tucker Carlson is actually paid off by Russian media.
Yeah.
A lot of people were tweeting about it early in the morning. And it was like, where did this come from?
Yeah. So his wording was RT, which we know employees from RT are the ones that funded Tenet Media Company, which funded Tim Pool and the likes. Temple, and then Pimple, and two others that don't matter at all because they're nothing. And Tim Pool is the best. No, they're just, Tim Pool is the only one with an actual outreach, unfortunately. But they were actually being funded by RT employees. I don't know if it was technically connected to RT. I think they were just former employees or current employees. But Trudeau said RT is currently funding bloggers and other YouTube personalities, which I think is where he should have just stopped because he would have been correct. But then he says, such as Jordan Peterson and Tucker Carlson, which those are two people who, as of right now, there has been
been linked.
No truth to this. Now, obviously, it could be true. Jordan Peterson immediately took to Twitter to quote tweet the clip and say, "Hey Russians,
Hey Russians, where the hell is my money?"
Hell.
Justin Trudeau strikes again, whiffing at a foul ball.
So he said that, and then it's not mentioned in here, but Tucker's people or Tucker was asked to comment on it, and he was like, "Oh, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. I'm not being funded by Russians." But they've both said, push pro-Russia stuff, especially Tucker. Jordan Peterson has, but not quite as much. So it's not unbelievable. And I'm also not trying to say that it's not true or be what the hell is Trudeau saying? I'm just pointing out that it was very just out of nowhere that he said this. And
those are some of his
kind of defamation, if not true.
his greatest antagonists are Tucker Carlson and Jordan Peterson.
I mean, possibly, because Jordan Peterson talks a lot of shit on Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if that's one shot that Justin Trudeau can get in on him, so be it.
Which he should Trudeau shouldn't have even said anything. I mean, again, unless it's true, which it very well could be. And I mean, like, I don't want to say I hope it is, because I hope it isn't. But like, there's a part of me that would
funny.
be interested to find out if there is truth to that or not.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to share that. So we'll see if any more comes out about that, and find out if it's true or not. So yeah, starting drama. Old Justin. Let's
making fucking mac and cheese and.
Let's do a little Nextdoor drama right now, folks, as we wind down this episode. In case you don't know what Nextdoor Drama is where we go to the infamous blog posting website Nextdoor, which was previously owned by the person who owned the CEO of Twitch. And it's a website for your neighborhood where people up to a certain mile radius can post whatever the hell is going on. And so we dig back into our hometown where Gavin lives of St. Charles, Missouri, the suburb of St. Louis. And it's just a, small town life. And so we go and we find a blog entry and we take the entry in the comments, we script it out and do a dramatic reenactment of it. This week's Nextdoor Drama is titled, "This is Why We Have Signs Throughout the Neighborhood." I will be playing John, Gavin will be playing Erica, and we're just a couple of confused neighbors, and I think you'll pretty quickly understand why we're confused. So, without saying much else, I'm going to hit the Nextdoor Drama intro song. I need some water.
Water. Oh, Jesus Christ.
This week on Nextdoor Drama. Oh, so thirsty. I got so scared there. I was going to drown.
This is why we have signs throughout the neighborhood. Jackknife truck on the corner of Leaf Crest and Dunn. # Missouri Bottom.
Showing photos now for those wondering. Did you call PD? They can ticket the driver.
No, I did not. It happens a lot. They get stuck up in the neighborhood or they don't realize the road's not through and try to back up all around. They need to read all the signs, period.
It's through.
What's through?
I was showing the word through because it was spelled as through in a previous comment.
Oh, I see now. Thought it was Mo Bottom Road he was talking about.
Oh, glad I could help, lol.
It's like a Penn and Teller bit.
Yeah, it's exactly like a Penn and Teller bit.
Now, what was the name of that comedy duo that did like
Abbott and Costello?
Yeah,
who's on foist?
Albert
who's
and
on
Costello.
foist? Albert and Costello. Elvis Costello.
Albert and Yellow Custard.
The famous comedy duo. Elvis
Duo.
Costello.
The famous comedy duo.
The famous comedy duo Elvis Costello.
Here they are. Elvis Costello.
Here they are. Here they are now.
Here they are now. Elvis and Costello.
Elvis and Costello. Anyways. Yeah, it was like an Elvis Costello bit. Yeah. I thought about that whenever I was coming up with it. I was like, this is exactly like Abbott and Costello. Who's on foist? Oh, people. People are great. Nothing much really to say about that. I'll show those pictures, hopefully, if I remember to. Was that loud? Moving on, though, folks. We're in our final segment of the day called Whatcha Listening To, where Gavin and I recommend a song, album, or artist to each other and to you, the audience, of what we've been listening to in the past week because we love music. You know, what can I say? We love music. All right. Am I allowed to say that? Oh, thanks guys. Gavin, what have you been listening to this week?
Right. So this week I've been listening to, actually this is like a recent thing. This is like this weekend. I picked up this album, from, I think it was a Twitter post a while ago. It just kept running through my mind this weekend for some reason. Where it was a post on Reddit on the LCD Sound System Reddit that said like, please stop posting about the Dare. We know he sounds like LCD Sound System. There is an entirely different Reddit dedicated to the Dare. And there were like a lot of angry admins were going on about this.
Of course.
On Reddit. And
as Reddit admins do.
Yes. And so I was like, let me get this album a listen. I was like, I'm sure it sounds a little bit like LSD Sound System. And I put it on and I was instantly hooked. This is like if Charlie XCX was a guy who it's the horniest album I have ever listened to. It is literally the horniest like club music I have ever listened to in my life.
This is not what I would picture this guy, a horny music guy, to look like. He's just a little, He's just a little guy.
Yeah,
kind of looks like like one of the Gallaghers. He could be a Gallagher brother. Yeah.
Well, I guess he's been in the scene for a while, but there's a song on here called "Girls," where he's like, I don't want girls who make love. I want girls who want to fuck.
Oh, so you're right. You're right. So he's like twerking up on stage and like he's like doing jack off motions on stage.
Yeah. Well, there's a line in
XCX.
Yeah, so this album is actually fantastic. It is electronic pop, I guess. Electronic kind. It's not like hyper pop, like Charlie XCX per se, but more like drum beats with like stupid 80s sounds added in, which is like just dumb shit, and especially in this girl song. But he starts out with the song with like a ow.
Okay.
He goes like crazy with it. It's so good.
Is it joke music?
Good. I don't know. I can't fucking tell because the girl song definitely is a joke. I feel like it's a joke. He talks about how he wants girls with ass hair so long it clogs the toilet.
Holy shit. All right.
So I don't know. I hope he doesn't like girls. He also said he likes girls who buy guns because they don't like cops, which I think is such a hard line. I love that line so much.
I want to listen to this.
But this album is fantastic. There's a song where it's called Perfume. It has to be a joke. It has to be a joke.
It sounds like a joke.
Because the more I'm saying it out loud, but if you take it super seriously, it's really fucking good, and it does feel like you've done a line of coke.
Yeah.
Like in the bathroom. For better or for worse. I don't know what that feels like because I've never done coke, but it sure feels like it gives me an insane burst of energy whenever I listen to this music. It gets me really high. And there's a song that's right before called Perfume, and like I was saying, this Perfume song is like it's so good, but he's talking about how he's a guy, but he buys like cheap perfume online, and it smells really good, and like people mention it to him all the time.
That's funny.
It's a very short album. It's only 27 minutes long, and it's 10 songs, so it's very short. But Open Up is also a very good opening because, I mean, it literally talks about, like, opening up a girl's legs. Like, it's literally, like, the horniest album I have ever listened to. But I have had an immense amount of time, immense amount of fun and time listening to this album in the last 48 hours or so. It's such a good album.
You sold me.
And it's quick, and it's just fun. I don't know. There's no other way to put it. And it does sound like LCD Sound System, and it does sound like Charlie XCX. And it's
and the male version of Charlie XCX is like your dream because you don't like seeing women succeed in anything.
Anything, yeah. I'm
financially at least.
No, absolutely not. Especially seeing like especially if like the girl is not the opener, like get her off stage. I'm here to watch the guys play. You know,
right?
Like, let the men play.
Let the men play.
Let the men play. It's a man's turn.
Wait a minute. You're telling me the woman is the headliner?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I was like,
crazy.
that's fucking blasphemy. Taylor Swift selling out.
Blasphemy.
Taylor Swift selling out stadiums. Give me a break.
Give me a break. That cannot be real. It's because of her boyfriend. He's a football guy. Have you heard of him?
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. And these women tell me that, she's the one who put Travis Kelce on the map. And I said, you don't know how many yards Travis Kelce had in 2018.
But I'll tell you right now, and not let you say
it was
another
upwards
word.
of 1,500.
Yeah, and I knew that, and you didn't. That's all.
But yeah, it's a really fun. It's all a joke. I'm not a misogynist.
Not yet.
Publicly.
Privately, very.
Privately, very much. Oh gosh. But
gosh.
yeah, I've had a lot of fun. I would say the first half of the album is much better than the second half. The second half kind of takes a little bit of a backseat, and with some longer songs. They do have some 4-minute songs in there, but very much the first half is like you've done. Like the first half of the album is literally like maybe 10 minutes long, and the second half is like 17. So it goes by quick. It's a very quick album, and just great stuff. Sick. And if I guess that could be a Halloween costume I could do is just dress up as the Dare.
Sure, that'd be really funny.
Yeah, everybody would get it.
Everybody would get it. They'd be like, "Oh, he's that guy from that band. That sounds like LSD sounds stream."
I'll do Bill Clinton. I think I'll dress up as Bill Clinton.
Don't tell me. You can have your pants down too with your cock out. This week, I am listening to something of the complete opposite as far as sound and energy goes. I'm listening to the 2001 album by Crowbar, Sonic Excess, in its purest form. Crowbar is I don't know if we would say one of the, well, I guess they're not even technically hardcore. They're like hardcore adjacent. They're listing them as sludge metal, which I actually didn't. I didn't.
What?
I know.
Who's listening to them as sludge metal?
Well, honestly, I actually thought that people considered them a hardcore band until I just read this now, which makes me feel better because the whole time I was like, this is a sludge metal band, not hardcore. Sludge metal is just like really slow, heavy, deep metal. Like it's very slow. And that's kind of been the reason I haven't really been able to get into Crowbar, because people I really like Crowbar, and then they would recommend stuff and I'd listen to it and I'm like, it's fine. But it was really the slowness of it that like I couldn't really get into, because most of the time I listen to music when I'm working out and I need like fast tempo metal stuff. That's why I like hardcore so much, because it's faster. Right. And so I do listen to metal and hardcore outside of, working out, but not often. And so that's why I was finally able to get into Crowbars, because I was listening to them outside of working out and was kind of just like listening to their top songs, figuring out where to go from there, which is kind of what I usually do when getting into a new band.
I think that's the best way to do it, to be honest with you.
And then from there, there was a few songs on this album that I liked, so I dove in, and then I really like this album. Like the whole album front to back is good. Like no skips for me. My favorite song is To Build a Mountain. It's the second song. There is some faster songs in here. I can't remember which ones specifically off the top of my head. But yeah, it's a good album. I think people consider them as the heaviest band ever alive.
Really?
Which I agree with, in the sense of sludge metal just being very slow and heavy, and the vocals are very like drawn out and strained.
Inherently.
Yeah, and on purpose. Yeah, it's good. It is just very, you have to go into it knowing it's going to be slow at times, which I've grown to like, but
sorry.
I can't. No, you're fine. As far as working out to
how
it,
I
it's
did
tough.
this. I'm playing it twice.
You're playing it twice, goddammit. Yeah, go check that out. That's all I got for this week. I am very excited for Halloween next week.
Yeah, me too. And I think I have an appropriate album for Halloween.
Perfect. Yeah, I was just gonna say I will. Most people will hear the episode after Halloween, so it is kind of a little stupid, but whatever. It's our Halloween episode. Who gives a fuck? I will also be recommending something Halloween adjacent. I haven't decided what yet. There's a few. I've been listening to a lot. I still listen to a lot of like. Oh, I was gonna mention that this album to me is like a very good like cold weather fall album, Halloween adjacent. I wouldn't say it gives me like any like spooky vibes to it at all, but it is just very slow. Like this feels like a very good winter album because it's just slow and dreadful,
cold
and cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, next week I will also be recommending something Halloween adjacent. I'll figure out what that is.
Well, everybody, thanks for listening to Takes All Kinds podcast, episode 189. Keep watching, keep listening, keep sharing with all your friends. And thanks for telling me if you're listening to it or not. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Yeah, keep doing that. Keep listening. We'll see you next week with a very spooky special episode of the show. That should be a lot of fun. We'll see you then.